Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Keefe75 Games. I am Keefe, and today we are going to take a look at a game that is coming out shortly. It is called The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Now, what this game is, it is basically something like Hyrule Warriors, but it all takes place now in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild world. It is based upon that. It happens 100 years before the Great Calamity, and it explains all the events that happen up until Breath of the Wild takes place. It is a really cool looking game. There is some gameplay in a blog post we're going to go over here in a few minutes, but I just wanted to show you guys what it all looks like and information on it in case you want to get it, so you can get it if you like. It looks pretty cool. So let's just get right into it. We're going to get to the blog post and then we'll come back and watch some video. Okay, so if you want to discuss later on, we can. So it says Breath of the Wild's prequel, 4 things we've learned. And this post is by Julia Lee at Dahari. I think I butchered that. I'm sorry. Anyways, it goes on. It says, more Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity gameplay was revealed during Wednesday's Nintendo Treehouse live stream. The footage showed off new features as well as the hack and slash gameplay fans of Hyrule Warriors can expect from the franchise. Except with a Breath of the Wild twist, players will be able to use Sheikah Slate abilities like status to help them fight, for example. Alright, so this is cool. It's basically a Hyrule Warriors game, but with all the bells and whistles of Breath of the Wild. I also believe you can cook food and stuff like that, and weapons don't break. We'll get into it. So let's just get going with this, and then we can get into the video. So there was a lot of information in a 25-minute stream, but here are some of our favorite tidbits. Then it goes into hidden Korok's return. So there's going to be more Koroks to find, which is pretty cool. And it says, yeah, haha, Koroks are in this game as well, hidden among the levels. The example shown on stream showed the Korok pop up after interacting with a stray pinwheel on the ground, but more are definitely going to be hidden around the rest of Hyrule. While it was announced that collecting the Korok seeds will do for the player, while it wasn't announced what collecting the Korok seeds will do for the player, or if they will be as prevalent as they were in Breath of the Wild. But hopefully there's a sweet reward. Yes, Zelda kicks major ass. That's pretty cool. Rather than using a sword, Zelda wields her Sheikah Slate and uses familiar Slate abilities to knock out enemies. She'll summon bombs, drag metal blocks around, and make ice blocks appear out of nowhere. Most importantly, she takes photos with the Slate that apparently destroy the enemies. That sounds interesting. Weapons don't break. Alright, so that's cool. So in Breath of the Wild, the main game itself, as you know if you played it, the weapons you use wear out and break in time. So that's why we usually have a vast inventory of them, so that when some break, you can just equip another one and keep going. But in this game, apparently the weapons don't break, which is really good. So players will be able to slash away freely as weapons won't break. They can be upgraded and leveled up to be improved and used repeatedly over levels. But thankfully, you will never have to say goodbye to them. That's awesome. And it's also refreshing to know that you don't have to sparingly use them because they won't break. There are robots. During the first part of the stream, a tiny guardian-like robot is seen following Link around. There's also a larger robot that appears while Zelda is on control, and it produces a series of explosive bombs. Pretty neat. We're going to get into the video and we can talk about the video. If you guys want to spark up a conversation in the comments, feel free. Let me know your thoughts on this, you know. Okay, so let's jump right in here. And if you guys are just tuning in, please smash that like button. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. It would mean the world to me and it would help the channel as well. I am still on a push to 500 subscribers. I am currently sitting at 145, I believe. So we're slowly getting there. If you guys get me there, we'll do some sort of special giveaway or something in that regards for you. But we have to get there first. So I know you guys will get me there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. You know, tell your friends to get involved that at 500 subs, we're going to do a giveaway and it will be worth the while, trust me. Without further ado, let's move on and let's take some look at this gameplay. Okay, let's turn on a little bit of volumes.
X and Y button to do weak and strong attack, and then also A. Oh wait, Iga must have is coming. Right now, there's no challenge under attack by Iga-san, but I don't want to talk about why.
All right, so as this video goes on, I will stop and pause it every once in a while so we can talk and discuss a little bit of it. But as you can see, it has all like the graphical Breath of the Wild. It takes place in that world rather than Hyrule Warriors took place in its own little Hyrule type world itself. We will go on and we will continue watching.
Here. But the objective is I have to actually defeat all 3 Iga Blade Masters. So to do that, in addition to the usual Hyrule Warriors action, I have to use Rune to counterattack. And I can use, I just use the stasis now, as you can tell. But each character can use all 4 different runes in different occasions. So I need to focus on attacking him right now. So I'm going to let Kay and Kidra talk about what's unique about Urbosa.
Great, thank you
pretty cool.
so much, Chico. Yeah, Urbosa's gameplay is really fun and exciting, and as you can see, it's focused on her ability to use an attack with lightning. She has a unique ability to charge up lightning, which is represented by the gauge at the top of the screen. And yep, she's charging it right there. And once it's charged up, she can actually use the lightning in addition to her strong attacks to kind of strengthen those attacks and do some really character-specific stuff with it. She also uses lightning in her weak point counters and in her special attacks. And if Chico can get the timing right, after some of these big attacks where there's still some electricity lingering in the air, she can charge up her electricity super quick, which takes a lot of skill and a lot of timing, but it's very satisfying when you can pull it off.
Okay, so I'm running
and
to
And I just wanted to add too, aside from the gameplay that you're seeing, well, first of all,
Seems very interesting.
No,
Oh my gosh.
interrupting myself because there's a Korok.
There it is.
There it is.
So cute.
So clearly Koroks are in the stages that you can find. But this is the first time that people get to play as Urbosa, which is already
pretty cool.
super awesome. And this area probably looks pretty familiar to some Breath of the Wild fans.
Yes, it is.
And it's cool to see
store.
places.
So great.
Pre-Calamity. But what I did want to say is fans can look forward to getting more backstory on these characters as well. You really get a good look at Urbosa's relationship to Zelda, and also more information about Urbosa's relationship to Zelda's late mother.
Yeah.
So if you're like me and you love to get to know the characters and get to know them in ways that you didn't get to in Breath of the Wild, this game is your opportunity to do that.
Yeah. If you're a huge Zelda
Right.
fan,
It's
I strongly
there's a
recommend
lot
getting this
in
game.
here and a lot to see, and it's very thrilling for fans of Breath of the Wild to be able to take a look, a more in-depth look at this time in the story. All right, and now we're taking a look at Zelda's gameplay, which
All right.
is also a first look, very exciting. As
Definitely
you can see,
is.
she uses the runes as her
Oh, look at that.
main attacks. In addition to being able to use them just like everyone else, and she can create different combinations of runes to take out huge
Link.
swarms of enemies. Oh my gosh! In a very unique way. It's so cool to see
Chico
Zelda
fashion.
being able to take out these guys.
Oh.
Yeah, and for me, anytime Zelda gets to you get to play as Zelda and annihilate enemies as Zelda, it's pretty much a win for me.
It's interesting that it has a lot of the aspects of the original Hyrule Warriors game,
Play as in this one.
but it's a little different in aspects that you're playing in the Breath of the Wild world, and it's different because you have like missions and challenges, and you can do all the similar things you can do in the main game of Breath of the Wild.
Yes. I have to chase after the Iga people.
But as you can see, it is more based on the hordes of enemies eliminating and moving on.
And for people who are new to the Warriors series, as you can see, there are prompts on the screen that help guide you through the process of the gameplay and the action. But you also can turn those off if you want to.
That's good. That they even give you that option, really, you know.
So I'm at this location, and it looks like
Mighty
my,
Bananas, look,
objective
yes.
is to defeat the enemies with loud attacks. So I think I need to do. Oh, I can't use it right now, but I will wait till my rune fills up first. But
Make some noise, Chico.
Do it.
do that. Hold on. These guys are loud.
This guy's really getting in your way. So as you can see, when you use the Sheikah runes, there is a little bit of a wait time for it to charge back up before you can use it again, which is very similar to how it worked in Breath of the Wild. Oh man,
Pretty much.
That was a gorgeous takeout right there. And the reason for using these loud attacks was to call forth a certain familiar monster.
Oh
And there
boy.
he
Oh,
is.
that's in this game too?
Oh man.
You sure it's not a lady though?
I think he's beautiful.
Oh god, that's cool.
Yeah, he's too scary.
Manduga.
And he's coming after me, so I don't think I want to do this.
I used to hate that
Now,
thing.
let's go ahead and
That's it.
let's escape to the main menu while we can. So we're gonna go back to the world map, which can show some of the gameplay between battles, leveling up
Between
characters,
battles?
strengthening weapons.
Oh cool,
and
look. It's the same Breath of the Wild map too, pretty much.
There it is. Very familiar map of Hyrule. Chico, do you want to tell us a little bit about
This is very interesting.
Yeah, so if you ever play, like original Hyrule Warriors game or maybe different Warriors game, you might be familiar with how the menu looked like. You will go from chapter 1 to 3 type thing. But this one, you actually go through different chapters and locations using the map of Hyrule from the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And when I first saw this, I was literally screaming because it was so gorgeous, and I just loved it. And,
It is really nice.
Because it's a Hyrule Warriors game, when you're playing the stages, you collect a lot of different type of materials. So using those materials, you can unlock different locations on the map, like the stables, the training grounds, and even like different dishes you can cook type thing. So
This is so cool.
Is,
With all these added features besides just hack and slash.
So it is a Hyrule Warriors game, so you will be collecting a lot of different weapons while you are in the stage.
Naturally.
Not like Breath of the Wild, you don't. The weapons do not break during the stage, but you can use these weapons you collected to strengthen your primary use weapon.
Nice.
So right now I'm using this sword, but there's other different type of weapons I can get and different way to use it. So I want to use my sledgehammer, iron sledgehammer, and fuse them with all the materials I got so far.
With the level 1.
Oh cool, you can fuse them and make them stronger. You can add abilities.
Don't you dare.
I'm digging this. I really am.
I was worried.
You got rupees and everything.
No, use it.
So
Yes, it's okay.
you can use up to 5 different weapons, and you can strengthen. You of course have to use the rupees, so make sure you collect the rupees.
Good
when you
weapon.
are
Always
in
glad to
stages
help.
too. And now
Very
I have
nice.
my sledgehammer leveled up to 5, so I can use that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Another
they
thing
took a lot
is
of
the
stuff out of
materials
Breath of the
collected
Wild and
you can
implemented it
make
into this game,
So see this one,
which isn't a bad thing. It makes the game better and more fun and approachable to play with all these other elements in it. Chillin' trout.
Now I looked at this, so I can earn the recipe for chili fish skewer.
Nice.
Right,
I
and the
missed that
recipe
sound.
can be used to give your characters a little bit of a buff before you go into battle. And there are a bunch of different types that have different effects, so it's pretty fun to collect them and see what they do. Yeah, they
And
also
by
have.
defeating the go ahead.
Nice.
Yeah, so by defeating monsters and getting those materials, you can also turn them into these other quests, which you can use to unlock bonus combos or extra health or other such things. But the thing I really like about these is that they have little stories that go along with them. Little glimpses into the characters' lives between battles during this war. The one that we just did, for example, is about a young child in Hateno village who wants to build a monster dummy so that they can practice using a two-handed sword. And so Link actually brings the materials to make the dummy, creates this dummy, helps them build it, and then they train together. And that's how Link is able to come up with an extra move for his two-handed sword. And I love it because Link's from Hateno village.
That's interesting. So not only are you playing the game, but you're getting an extensive backstory.
Excellent in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, the game takes place 100 years before Breath of the Wild.
It's basically a two-handed sword type. So I'm going into the training mission where I can actually use this sledgehammer to show.
If you're just tuning in,
how the
welcome.
two-handed
You're watching
sword
Keefe 75 Games, and I am Keefe.
So I changed my weapon. And
Please, if you haven't already, click on the like button and
you can
consider, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel.
You can equip or, I guess,
It would be greatly appreciated.
and dress him up however you want.
You look nice.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
This is
And also
training attire.
I do most of my uploads on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays,
Just got from the recipe.
but I do upload otherwise on my off days, you know, the other
Right, and every
Friday,
character
Saturday, Sunday, and
will react
Mondays.
differently.
I do
to
upload
the,
frequently as well,
dishes
just
that you cook for them.
not as often as
And
Mondays,
some characters
Tuesdays, and
even
Wednesdays.
have favorite dishes, and they'll say something different when
I'm
you give
sorry,
them
I mean
their
Tuesdays,
favorite dish.
Wednesdays, and
So
Thursdays.
It's a lot of fun to try out a bunch of different recipes and see which your characters prefer.
Magnesis.
Yeah, and if you watch the TGS live stream, you might have seen the cutscene where it's showing the tower actually raising from the ground. And that tower is actually going to be a base for Link whenever he goes to the next mission. So I think you just saw
Oh, cool.
him kind
If
of
you look here,
walking from the
this used to
tower
be the
so
loading
that he was
screen.
facing,
When you played on the Switch,
right,
this
facing the
little
200
scene used to show up in the right-hand corner there. That's cool.
Right.
Without
So
a
yeah,
shirt on.
it's
Oh, that's
a
the little
training
baby thing.
mission. Without a-
There he is, right there. The little baby. Did you see it?
I mean,
there's no
the truth
judgment.
is
Hold on.
a lot of
If
work.
anything,
Hold on. This has been. Let's go back a little bit. This has been in the news of
I mean,
this
there's no
the truth
judgment.
is a lot of
If
work.
Of this
anything, I just
game.
feel bad for Link.
right as
Right.
this. You'll see right over
So
here in the
yeah,
corner.
It is a training
There's-
mission.
Right there. See it? Oh,
Hey!
did you see that?
I mean,
there's no
the truth
judgment.
is a lot of
If
work.
anything, I just feel bad for
Keep
Link.
that in mind. That's going to come up in conversation.
Yeah, you know, he
guess
works
there's
up
less
quite a
fabric to
sweat
get in
to
the
get
way
that
while
thing
he's
around.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is a training level, so you're fighting against a lot of Hyrulean soldiers.
There's a lot of people here.
And using the two-handed sword, which
It's not a sword.
you know, aesthetically does look a lot like how it was used in Breath of the Wild. In this game, it's slower but more powerful than the one-handed sword. But the fun thing about it is
Nice.
that he can use the unique action to strengthen his strong attacks. In exchange, he takes a little bit of temporary damage. Like that. And in order to heal that temporary damage, you can press X to consume a meal in the middle of battle.
This is very interesting.
I love the animation of him eating.
Yeah,
I love the animation for him eating.
Let's
Yeah,
get near
if
some
she'll do
enemies.
it for us.
Sorry. I was
Get near some enemies. Oh, no, not quite. Okay, so, but one of those eating animations is highly aggressive, and if Chico doesn't near some enemies, then we will see what happens. And hopefully we'll get an opportunity to show you that, because I love it.
Nom nom nom.
Yeah! Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay. Aggressive food eating,
I love it.
shockwave blast, sending the soldiers flying.
I love that they included that in
There's the ice block.
part of the actual fighting style for the two-handed sword. I think it's a great homage to
this.
Breath of the Wild and people who played it like I did, which is to say having a stockpile of apples or something in my inventory, so I
think
could
everybody did.
chow down when I'm being blown back by a strong attack that did lots of damage.
Can aggressively eat your apples and send those soldiers
Aggressively eat your apples. It's the only way to eat apples in this game.
You know,
If you burn.
Alright, how many KOs do we
you can
have?
actually get the grilled apple too.
Oh yeah.
So I have to kill.
Alright.
don't forget, guys, spark up a conversation in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the
We're
game.
more than halfway.
You know, I will
also like to
interact with
point out
everybody
that this
as
location
much as I
is
possibly
very
can.
familiar.
If you have a
appeared
question
as
or
ruins in
you just
Breath of the
want to
Wild,
talk about
but
it,
now,
then go right
before the
ahead.
Calamity,
Leave me a
in
question. I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. There it is again. Did you see that little?
It's very cool to
that
see
little
what it
machine?
looked like before it got destroyed.
Yeah, and
nice
Chico,
one,
maybe you can
Chico.
show us some light.
Here he is. I believe he's helping Link.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did get to see the ice rod before.
Yeah, that one.
Four soldiers.
You can do it. So, as you can see, she's timing her attacks for when that weak point gauge comes out.
Sweet.
The big strategy against these stronger enemies is to cut down that weak point gauge and create an opening so you can do a counter attack, which can be very powerful.
Yeah, I guess it looks it.
Nice
A
one.
little bit more.
I love the two-handed sword so much. I think it's my favorite. It's so satisfying, to just slam through all of these enemies, these thousands and thousands of enemies. And also to take a little break to have a snack here and there.
Oh yeah, even Link gets hungry.
I'm
We all
hoping
get
we
hungry.
can,
I know your
show
favorite is
some,
the
show some flurry rush too. Oh, of course.
I'm trying! I suck at this thing!
I'm really liking the fact that they implemented all of the abilities of each character.
We need to find another one of those captains.
No, he's not good. Yeah.
Nice. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is The Rock. You gonna fight him? I thought he was your friend.
He's very heavy moving character too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember too now, this is 100 years before Breath of the Wild, so things could obviously are a lot different.
You can do it, Chico. I believe in you.
Keep your own size. He's like 2 times
Oh my
bigger than you.
goodness.
Oh my gosh. That looks like a little bit of rough play for training.
They take their training very seriously.
Ugh.
Nice work.
Take
Nice
Yeah,
that.
wow.
Traveler's Claymore on
very quick
chest.
work of Guru. Good job.
There he is.
Yeah, you did.
All right, let's cut away from this
That
for a
right
second.
there.
We have
Right.
one other thing we'd like to show you. Chico's got to set it up, though. I could
You know,
use
yes.
weapons to
Choose your own
make this a
adventure.
little stronger. Yeah. I love it. I love that when you use the soup ladle, you got the pot lid as a shield, too.
Okay.
All right, so
Sheikah?
we're looking at Impa now.
Oh, it's Impa.
Yeah. So what I want to show is in the distance, but I need to take care of these guys first because
Moblin.
these guys just in my
Nice.
way.
Oh, and you get the paraglider too?
Ah!
So obviously this is a new depiction of Impa that we're seeing here, but Chico is about to show us just what Impa is capable of in the gameplay.
It looks like she's pretty strong.
I love her. I love Impa so much. I think she's so much fun.
Looks like she's using daggers.
She's so quick, and she has these different jutsu attacks that she uses, like the summoning of the frog and the creation of stone.
Let's go.
You did. That was an impressive use of the electric
Phoenix.
rod, I have
Gonna
to
jump and
say.
sit on you.
And here we have a Hinox. I love it. So yeah, as I was saying, Impa's gameplay, being able to absorb those symbols to create the clones and then strengthen the strong attack when she has all.
Oh, you
of
can
her
create
clones
clones.
out is, it's
That's
really
cool.
fun. It takes a lot of strategy and timing. Nice.
I would
And you can
imagine the
see
clones
her,
do damage too. So
Her
you
Sheikah
can.
rune usage does differ from the other characters we've looked at today too.
You can do more damage.
You can do it. So we discussed earlier the usage of runes in order to create openings to counter strong enemies, and it's even more important that you do that when fighting these big
That looks like
monsters,
Hyrule
too,
Castle, maybe?
because
Right there?
if you get the timing right on these, just like that, you can create
like
these
that.
great dramatic openings for yourself. And it really is vital that you get these weak point smashes in because they do so much damage. And it can really make it easy to, or easier, I should say, to take these guys out.
Pretty
To
much.
take out the poor Hinox that was just having a nap, minding his own business,
I don't
doing
know
his own
about that.
thing. Well, I mean, I would be grumpy too if I got woken up like that.
That's fair. Nice work,
Chico's
Chico.
making short work of this guy.
She really is.
I love that flying squirrel move.
Flying squirrel.
The maniacal laughter, yes.
Nice. All right, I think that's all the time we have left for today. Let's stop
right, so
beating
we're-
up on this poor Hinox and let him go back to his. Nice.
All right, guys, so we're going to end this here. It is the end of the video, and it is also the end of their video. Let me know what you guys thought of this gameplay. This is the new Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. This will be released on November 20th, 2020. That's the release date as of now. Obviously, that could change. We'll see what happens. But so far, so good. The game looks really good. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you're a big Zelda fan like I am, let me know if you're going to get it or not. I love Zelda. As a matter of fact, I bought the Nintendo Switch when it first was released just because of Zelda. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bought it. I heard there was a new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, so I was like, all right, I got to get the Switch. I got to have that game. I love Zelda. I have played each and every one that basically was ever made. So, not going to take up no much more of you guys' time. Please, if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. Consider subscribing to my channel. Let's get me to that 500 subscriber mark, and I will do something special. So, with that being said, guys, I'm Keefy75. Peace.
Where are you?